Scott Baradell is on board, and he is an AI expert, and we're talking about this emerging technology that is literally, I mean, it is revolutionizing the work landscape. Everything from trucking to warehousing, supply chain, aviation, you name it, it is being embraced with big dollars in the industry and economy overall. Scott, thank you very much for joining me on the show to talk about this. I do want to get your website out there, good sir. Phone number, social media, where can folks look up what you do? Where can they go?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, my website is IDEA, like a good idea, Grove, like an orangegrove.com. Our number is 972-235-3439. So we do PR and marketing for a lot of logistics and supply chain and trucking technology companies, typically, cloud trucks and others. So we know it's a space we know well.
Very good. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining me on the program. And from the supply chain side, when you mentioned trucking as an example, helping out some of those that need assistance, so what kind of questions are you getting from the trucking side about this? What are you getting?
Well, I mean, everyone wants to know what's going to happen to their future, and the companies are all trying to, scrambling really to make AI a part of their message because it's expected to be. And so, as you said earlier, you got to communicate to employees. If they're public companies, especially, they're scrambling to deliver AI-based messages to their investors. It's one of those things where you want to tell your investors we're going to embrace AI and save all this money, and then the employees are like, but are you saving money by us losing our jobs or what exactly? So it puts companies and CEOs in very difficult spots as to how you balance those messages.
Well, in balancing those messages, do we have to look at this from the overall perspective of just jobs in general? Because every job is uniquely human, right? Sector by sector, industry by industry. So will the impact of artificial intelligence be felt differently in certain sectors?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a human component to everything. And ultimately, anything done through automation, the opportunity exists to elevate the human connection as a company to build your brand or your differentiation. Like, let's say a doctor who's so busy seeing 1 million patients a day that and going through diagnostics and all the little paperwork and things that they have to do. Well, this AI could free them up to actually spend more time with patients, which is the biggest complaint that most patients have, is that doctors give them 10 minutes and kick them out the door. And so there's all kinds of opportunities if those are embraced. Of course, you have to have a system in place where in this case, the health insurance companies allow that to happen. So there's a lot of things that have to work together to turn this into a positive in terms of the human experience. The easiest thing to do is to take out the human experience. But we like brands because they're the ones that are most human-like, and we like to deal with people, even if we're doing it online. And so embracing that can be a real opportunity when AI is taking some of those repetitive tasks out of the way.
What do we do, Scott, in your estimation, with the data that is going to be coming in as far as AI? There's reams and reams of data, I'm sure, that have got to be analyzed, quantitative data, qualitative data. How do you even begin to review that? Where would you start? Do you get questions from companies about that? Where do you start with even reading or looking at this data?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much we talk about, been talking for some time about big data, but AI, it just takes all of that to another level. And, of course, along with that, there's the ability to analyze that data. It's just we're at a stage now where a lot of that analysis is not necessarily accurate. In the case of ChatGPT, and a lot of there was an attorney that was fired and by his law firm and was suspended from the bar because he was in court citing fake cases that ChatGPT had cited. So this is the kind of thing that's happening now. And imagine that being on this massive scale. Imagine all the junk data that you're going to have to deal with. And I'm not sure, and I don't think anyone knows how long that's going to take to clean up, but there's going to be a lot of need for fact-checking and making sure that this kind of analysis of all this data is done correctly, or else it's just garbage in, garbage out.
I would imagine, too, that universities have got to be pulling their hair out collectively, or same thing with the high schools, right? Because this material generated through AI is going to be available right at the fingertips for students out there. Is the universities, in your estimation, going to have a tough time navigating AI-generated data? You know, computer writes it, not the student, kind of a thing?
Yeah, I think they're kind of whistling in the dark about it right now, but I think there's a lot of fear about it because, you know, yes, there are AI detection tools, and there are some created specifically at the university level to help detect AI in students' work, but at the same time, there are tools that are being developed specifically to get around those detection tools.
Yes,
so besides having someone do the work right in front of you or make the exams oral, it's going to be a real challenge.
My goodness, yeah. I mean, it's going to be quite a fascinating few years coming up here as we see all of this new technology that coming to the forefront. And the report out indicates that AI in the workplace continues to grow. 53% of firms using it in 2023, 24% planning for this year. And despite the job concerns, 91% of companies intend to hire, but they do value AI skills in prospective employees. So it's a new frontier, ladies and gentlemen. If you're used to doing the same job over and over and over, you got to learn new skills. Time is coming. And Scott, thank you very much for joining me on the program. This is a topic that is going to be touching every single industry to some extent. Trucking, no exception. It's going to be on that list as well. Scott Baradell on, AI expert. And Scott, one more time, website, phone number, where can folks find you and look at?
ideagrove.com, 972-235-3439. I also got a book out called Trust Signals,
nice.
Building in a Post-Truth World, which touches on a lot of the topics that we're talking about.
Outstanding. This up on Amazon. Where can folks find it? Where can they go?
Yeah, you can go to Amazon, just Google Trust Signals, and it'll be one of the top results.
Okay, very good. Thank you, man. Let's do it again. Very, very informative, and thanks for jumping into the conversation. Scott Baradell on about AI